Even though the skills tested in this paper don't develop overnight and you might already feel late to the party, there are still a few key things you need to know before you walk into that exam hall. These tips can significantly improve your grade in IGCSE First Language English Paper 2, Directed Writing and Composition. The most important thing to do, as always in any exam, is to carefully read and understand the question. This is where you will find out whether you're writing a speech, a letter, or an article. You also get to know why you're writing and to whom. This will help you determine your writing voice, essentially the tone of your writing. You'll also discover whether the task is simply discursive or whether you are expected to persuade or argue. Another critical part of the question is the bullet points, where you are given specific instructions about what to include in your writing. Pay close attention to them. Usually the first bullet point asks you to evaluate ideas, attitudes, and opinions. Take note of what you are expected to do with the second and third bullet point, if there is a third bullet point. Now, read the texts. As you do, underline and annotate ideas, attitudes, and opinions. These are your building blocks. You use them in a way that suits the task, but not in the exact order that they appear in the text. Copying directly from the text, also known as lifting, can hurt your grade badly. Avoid it. Treat it like an exam abomination. Don't do it. Also, be careful not to present opinions as facts or vice versa. Your ability to show an explicit and implicit understanding of the text is being tested, and your writing will reflect that. Plan your writing carefully. A good plan helps you avoid lifting and ensures that you develop ideas from each bullet point. Now, you already know that you must evaluate the ideas, the opinions, and attitudes from the text and present them in your own words in a way that matches the purpose, whether you're arguing, persuading, or discussing. To reduce the temptation to copy, especially if you haven't had much time to develop your skills, aim to use vocabulary and register related to the subject matter. Avoid words and expressions that have been used in the text. Look for ways to express yourself differently in a style that suits the task. Whether you are arguing, persuading, or discussing, your writing should reflect the appropriate tone and vocabulary. Strong responses don't simply repeat what is in the text, they engage with it. They bring in new perspectives and sometimes offer solutions as required by the bullet points. A good way to do this is by paying attention to what the text implies but doesn't say in words. If it strengthens your argument or description, build on it. At every step, once you've listed your usable ideas, ask yourself, what is the deeper point here that the text doesn't explicitly state, but that I can use to support my writing? That's the key. It lets you develop the idea in your own voice, adding depth and originality without touching the text. Planning keeps your writing organized. No matter the task, you need a clear introduction, body, and conclusion. This structure will help your reader follow your ideas. With a plan, you can manage your transitions and decide when to introduce certain ideas for maximum effect, especially if you're persuading or arguing. Sometimes it's best to acknowledge counter arguments first, then introduce your main argument to discredit the other side. Your introduction should grab attention and introduce the main points. It also sets the tone and language of your piece. Who are you writing for? What kind of language should you use? Once the tone is set in the introduction, maintain it throughout. A word of caution. Yes, informal letters can include slang and casual expressions, but this is still an English language exam. Use your discretion. That doesn't mean your language should be stiff and robotic, but avoid overly casual or lax language. The body of your writing should clearly develop the points from the bullets, using full explanations and, where necessary, counterpoints. Your body should be engaging and convincing if the task requires persuasion. Typically, this will take 2 to 4 paragraphs depending on your argument. The conclusion should tie everything together nicely, referencing your opening idea and bringing your piece to a satisfying close. It should be a breath of fresh air. If your task is to persuade, you might want to address the reader directly to inspire action or connection. You can also utilize inclusive pronouns like we to build trust and solidarity. Don't forget persuasive techniques like emotive language, rhetorical questions, rule of 3, imperative verbs. Some of these techniques can also be used in argumentative texts. If you choose the descriptive writing option, avoid generalizations. For example, the question, Describe the sun rising over a special place. Before you start, ask yourself, what is this special place? The reader needs enough background information to be able to follow your description as you zoom in and out of details and paint images. Don't just pick a place that's special to you but hard to describe. You're being tested on how well you communicate in writing, not on the magnificence of what is in your imagination. Your words should lead us to understand that this place is special without you saying, this is a special place. Let the description speak for itself. And this is why it is important to choose a question you can fully explore, leaving no doubts in the reader's mind about what your descriptions represent. If you go with narrative writing, it must align with the question. Don't force a pre-written story into a question if the theme does not match. Examiners notice this fast and it hurts your grade. Your narrative must be engaging from start to finish. So plan your plot. Beginning, build up, conflict resolution. Start your story immediately. You don't have time for a long introduction. Make your characters interesting. Use conflict to drive the story and keep it exciting. The juice of any good story is the tension and the suspense, just like in your favorite books. Use that to your advantage. Best wishes, my friend. You've got this. Pass that paper.